Hey guys, what's up? This is a video that I didn't think I would be making so soon. You see, a few weeks ago, I posted a room tour video, kind of a final setup tour of my current studio that I had, which I recorded about 2 months ago. Like it was in late August when I actually recorded that. I just kind of recently got around to actually editing it and putting it up, but nonetheless, it was kind of a send-off to my old studio and my old apartment because at the time I was moving out, broke my lease to move in with my brand new girlfriend, and unfortunately that turned out to be a mistake, but hindsight's 2020. All right, so now flash forward a couple of months, due to circumstances beyond my control, i.e. cheating girlfriend, I am no longer at that apartment with her. I'm now in another new apartment that I had to get on my own, so completely single once again, which is fine. I'm actually happy about this because this apartment's actually closer to work for me. It is smaller than my old apartment, and I don't have a second bedroom that I can turn into an office, but I do have this kind of cool, cozy little corner over here behind me that I'm going to be turning into kind of my studio area. All right, so pay no attention to the mess and stuff that is in here. I am in the process of still moving everything in here, so I don't have anything together. But this is going to be pretty much my new little studio area here in my living room. It's kind of a little cozy little side room over here, if you can call this a room. I guess it's an area. On the blueprint, on the floor plan, they call this a sunroom, which is fair. It does have a huge, like, couple of windows and stuff right there. It's going to be a little difficult to work with, but that's okay. I'm kind of, I want to kind of work on this challenge and stuff and try to figure out something new. So for this one, currently I still have the same L-shaped desk, which is glass and everything, that I've been using for years. I do plan on getting a butcher block desk and working with that. However, I wanted to get an 8-foot. This is not exactly 8 feet right here. This is more of like 90 inches, so it's about 6 inches short of being 8 foot. So when I actually get my butcher block, I am actually going to have to cut it down about 6 inches, which I'm not sure how I'm going to do that with nowhere to actually cut anything at. I will probably have to take it to work with me and do it there, I guess. But yeah, I do have another closet on the other side of the wall, which I've got to figure out how to hide. It's a decent sized closet. It is square. So not long like the other one I had, but you know, for a decent background and stuff here when I'm streaming with my webcam on, I want to do something with this. So what I'd like to do is maybe try to get some bookcases and put them along this wall. That way I can kind of, if I need in that closet, I will just kind of have to move a bookcase out of the way to get to it. Something like that. That's basically what I had to do at the other place. But yeah. And of course, you would probably be saying right now, well, you had like 5 bookcases before, right? I did, but I ended up having to leave some things behind at the other place because it was a huge argument and I just wanted to get all my stuff and get out. So there were some things that got left behind, including my chair. So my Serta chair that I've had for years now, that I've been using, and it was so comfy, is now gone. I no longer have that, as well as my 5 shelves that I got from Target. Those are all gone. I can live with this. It was worth just getting out of that apartment and the mental abuse and stuff that I was going through there. So yeah, so this is the new area. So what I was thinking is I would just kind of do a time-lapse video for you guys today of putting this all together and getting my setup and stuff back up and running so I can do more videos for you. Now, I don't want to do the same thing that I did last time and the time before that, what I've been doing. I don't want to have all my monitors in the corner with an L-shaped desk. So I'm going to see if I can get everything kind of straight, like maybe right up against here, just all one way. And then maybe leave this side of the desk. I do have a 3D printer that I've never used, so I may try to do that. And I think for the main reason I don't want to put everything in a corner again is just because of the way that this L-shaped desk is. It isn't curved right here, so using my keyboard and stuff was always kind of difficult. I just got used to it for the main part. And I liked having everything in a corner. But with the windows and stuff so close to the wall edge over here, I don't think it's a good idea to put all my monitors in the corner. So instead, we're going to try to put everything over here this time, all on just one wall on one side of the desk, and kind of see how I like that. It is only going to be temporary until I can get the funds to get my butcher block table and get my new desk and everything set up, which will be a completely different video. But for now, you know what? Let's talk basically, and let's get started working. Okay, so as you can see, I have everything finally put together and mostly complete. Not only that, but it's been a little bit since I actually recorded the time-lapse build you guys just watched. I'd say a little over 3 months now, which means I've had plenty of time to use the setup, get used to it, and give my thoughts. Before that though, let's talk about some of the big changes between the setup for my old apartment and the current one I'm using. The first one I touched upon in the beginning of the video, and that's how I was going to set everything up. So instead of having everything in the corner like I had my old one on the L-shaped desk here, I wanted to try having everything on just a single wall. One reason is that if you look behind me, you can see that my window here is very close to the corner. So if I put all my monitors in the corner like I had it before, a lot of it would kind of extend over past the window here. And I kind of had something like this going in my last setup, and I really didn't want to do that again because I wasn't really fond of how it looked. Another reason is that my next complete overhaul of everything is going to be built around a 6-foot butcher block wooden desk that was only going to be one-sided. So I want to see how I kind of feel about having it that way. Also, I'm going to be mounting all the monitors to the wall instead of having them clamped to the desk. And which honestly, I'm surprised about how well this has actually held up over the last few years with 4 monitors attached to it. This thing's built like a rock, especially for glass. But doing this, having the monitors on the wall, is going to clear up a lot more desk space. And as a bonus, it gets rid of the wobbliness of the monitors if the desk shakes at all. And speaking of the monitors, that's the second big change. Instead of 4 monitors like I had before, instead I only have 3 now. You may have noticed during the time-lapse build, I started to try to put a 4th monitor arm right here in this area to put my other monitor, my ultra-wide, down here, but it just wasn't fitting with everything. So this led me to go down a different path and to try 3 monitors instead, but this time in a TIE Fighter layout where my main 4K curved monitor here is in the center, and then I have my other 2 28-inch Samsungs on each side right here in a vertical portrait mode. Now, I did try to do this in my last setup at my old apartment, to having a TIE Fighter setup, but it just wasn't working because I had the monitor kind of mounted a little high and it was kind of angled downwards, and because of that, it was just forcing everything off to be really weird. I think if I had had 2 more curved monitors, it would have worked better, but these 2 aren't curved, this one is. So now I do personally think that this looks a whole lot better, but how does using everything this way feel? So like I said, it's been a few months, so I've had time to work with it, do my daily routines, surf the web, gaming, recording and editing videos, and honestly, I don't like it. The monitor layout may look great, but for me, I just don't care for it. Let me explain. All right, so I like the idea of being able to split either of the 2 side monitors into 2 monitors, essentially, like kind of right down the middle. I could take an application window and put 1 up here, 1 down here, same thing. That's like 4 on each one of these. So in a way, it kind of gives me a lot more screen space, even though the screens are smaller. But in practice, didn't really work for me. The top sections, I could see just fine, reasonably. But anything on the bottom half of the screen became more of a chore to try to view and work with. And I think part of the reason is that I might have all the monitors just a little bit too low. I also have my mic right here kind of in the way of this screen. It's really the only way I could do it. Maybe giving everything just a little more height would be better. I feel like my main monitor here is also just a little too low, as ever since I've started using this setup, my neck, my back, they've just been killing me, which has led to being less productive. So I don't think I'm going to be trying to go with this layout next time. Since I have to mount the monitors to the walls themselves, I can't be putting holes in the wall and then changing my mind and then having to put new holes in the wall. Plus, with the curved monitors, if I tilt them at all, getting them lined up is pretty much impossible.
I also really miss having my 4th ultra wide down here. It was so perfect for editing videos, and I'm going to be bringing that back in the next design, and I think I will have more space to kind of work that in. Now, ideally, what I would love is the Samsung 57-inch monitor. It's like 2 of these 4K monitors in one. I think it would look fantastic and take up a whole lot less desk space than having 3, like a triple monitor layout. My original plan was to get 2 more 32-inch 4K curved monitors and then just have them all kind of curve. But I think I'm going to hold off on that and just save up for the Samsung 57-inch instead. Now, as far as having everything on just this one wall, I think I'll be fine with that. Like I said, mounting monitors to the wall will clear up space underneath of it instead of having the monitor arms clamped to it. It will also look a lot cleaner as well. What I probably would have preferred to maybe have tried to do was to put everything on this wall in front of the window instead of this one. I would have a lot more space, as there's definitely room for an 8-foot desk here instead of the 6. Honestly, I was only like 6 inches short over here, but having to cut 6 inches off of an 8-foot desk, sand it down, paint it and do all that, I just don't have a place I can do that. Also, I only have this little bit kind of gap in the wall over here where I would be able to put a monitor mount. So I'd have to find a monitor mount that would hold up 3 monitors or that Samsung 57-inch, which is pretty heavy, and there's just not a lot of monitor arms out there that I think are going to do that, so I didn't really want to waste my time doing that. Also, if I was to live stream and have my camera on, the camera would be facing that direction, which that direction is the rest of my messy apartment. I'm still organizing, still trying to get things cleaned. Putting it over here, the live camera would be facing this wall, which it's a wall, but it also has, again, an ugly closet door that I've got to figure out a way to hide. I think I've got that figured out though. Okay, so that's my thoughts on the setup and how I have it currently. As far as the equipment I'm using,
Not a lot has changed with that stuff, but I think since this video has already gotten a little long, I will probably do a second one with a full breakdown of the system, equipment, peripherals, and accessories that I'm using, going over all the specs and performance details. So stay tuned for that. But there's still a lot more to come. If you enjoyed this build and you want to see even more and see the next evolution in my ultimate PC setup build so you don't miss my next project. Thanks for watching everybody, and wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'll see you next time.